Okay, everybody, this is Marijana Smolčec. I am eTwinning Inclusive Education Group Moderator. I have been the group moderator for the past 4 years, and I can officially tell you that this is the 17th online seminar or a webinar organized by our group. Today's topic, as you can see, is the ways of building democratic values in school. And one of the reasons why I have chosen this topic and decided to invite two experts or colleagues to talk about this topic is because this year, as you all may know, eTwinning has a year under the name of democratic participation. Unfortunately, I have to give you all bad news in the beginning. My colleague Ljiljana Gračanin, who was supposed to talk about the European Parliament Ambassador School Program, had some unexpected personal events that happened. She said hi to everybody, but since both of us have been included in this project, I decided to talk in her and both her and my name. Before I start the talk and before I tell you how this webinar will look like, I would like to introduce my other colleague, Branko Rumenović. Welcome, Branko.
Hello, everybody.
Bronco is a teacher mentor, and he's also has a master's degree in economics and also a bachelor's degree in education, and has been teaching in school, Bernardin Frankopan Grammar and Vocational School here in Croatia for the past 10 years. He's very active. He's participating in many different activities. He volunteers, and he even works in a lot of associations for students and for young adults. And I'm very glad that Branko has joined us because he's going to talk about the project he has been doing for the past 2 years with another colleague that had a lot of benefits for the students in our school. The second project that we have been doing for the past few years is something that is actually connected with European Union and for all the countries in Europe that Ljiljana and I were supposed to talk about, but more about this later on. So as you can see, there will be actually two presentations, but all are connected with the topic of building democratic values within schools. We hope you are enjoyed because we are going to share some experiences, some material resources, and you can explore a lot later. There will be links that we are going to share in the chat. So even though if you don't manage to get all the links and all the materials, don't worry, because all of the recordings, the slides, the links will be saved and published later within the Inclusive Education Group. So if you are still not the member of the Inclusive Education Group on eTwinning, I do invite you to join us. You can find many other materials there as well. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite Branko to actually take the mic and talk about the first project, about a very interesting activity he has been doing for the past 2 years, I think, and you will hear more from him. So Branko, get your mic ready. As I said, if you have any questions, everybody, please post them in the chat. I will be following the chat later, and we will ask Branko if he can answer certain questions that might appear. So Branko, now the presentation will start very soon. Okay, can you see it?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to close my camera and mute my mic, so Branko is going to start his presentation, and please follow carefully, and thank you all for coming one more time.
Hello, everybody, one more time. My name is Branko Rumenović, and this is my first education. I don't speak English very well, but I hope that Marijana will help me. For the beginning, our school is a small school, and we have different programs. For example, we have gymnasium, economist, sailors, and hotel and touristic technica. I will speak about project Start the Change. the project in Croatia is okay. The project in Croatia is the project started Forum for Freedom and Education, and the partner was from Slovenia, United Kingdom, and Italy. And here is a web page where you can find all information about our project. Our school is small school, and I want to say that this year we will celebrate 100 years of our school. And the project start 2 years before. We have a registration, and first step there was 50 schools, and after doing a motivation and CV of teachers. In second round, there was 15 schools, and we start the project. At the beginning, we must find problems what the students tell us. We speak with a lot of students in our schools, and they tell us lots of problems, and we grouped that problems in 4 groups. First group of problems was difference between school programs. The students tell us that they think that the students from gymnasium are more important than students from, I don't know, sailors. The second problem was dress code. Students tell us that they want uniforms because we in our school don't have dress code or uniforms. The third problem was social status. Students tell us that students who has better mobile phone or better tablets are famous in school. And the fourth problem was people with disabilities. This is interesting because the students tell us that the people with disability are always together. They don't speak with other, and they sit together, they eat together, and they don't speak with other students. After that, my colleague and I go to Sveti Martin na Muri, where Forum for Education give us some education. We learn how to make projects, and they give us a lot of materials. You have here a web page where you can find a book where is a lot of information how to make a project and so on. In Sveti Martin, my colleague and I make a project about difference between school programs. Why we choose these problems? Because we think that all problems what students tell us are included in this problem. So we decide to getting down a difference between school programs. At the beginning, with students, we make a logo, all for one and one for all. This is our slogan, and we decide that we are like musketeers, and we have 2 goals. We decide to promote vocational education and reducing the gap between school programs that students chose. In these projects, we have a lot of activities. First activities was introduction to the project. We have meeting with teachers, students and parents and local community. We speak with students and parents, and it was interesting because we didn't work with parents, but we have talk with them, and after meeting, one parent said or asked us why didn't it was it his time? Why didn't he have that activities in yes. Why didn't he have that activity in his time when he was a student? Local community give us support. They promote all of our activities. Second activities was promotion or celebrating a second European Vocation Skill Week. In our school program Economist have a subject business company where we learn how to found company or work with other companies. It is virtually company, and we decide to celebrate this week. We decide to go to real company Podravka and compare what students learn in school and how it is in real business. Our company name in school is Nature Gift Ltd or the Elegance of Knowledge Ltd. Third activities was a workshop with students at the education in St. Martin on Mura. A forum for education give us a lot of materials and workshop. We decide to work with two workshop. This is me and my collage. In this workshop, students wrote on paper all of knowledge and skill for one I don't know, economist, sailors, or gymnasium. And after that, students conclude that it is not important how many skills or knowledge you have. It is most important how human you are. And you have here some pictures of our work, and you have here a lot of materials and workshop what you can do with your students. We include students in a lot of our activities. We collect plastic caps, and we make a decoration for Christmas tree. You have here small Christmas tree and our decoration. This is students of from two programs, sailor and economist. We work together and encourage creativity in a lot of our classes. With students, we work creativity, and we use toys to learn them something about law, economy, and so on.
I would just like to add something about the plastic caps of bottles. Don't know if you have this in your country, but recently in our country, for the past about 2 years, there was a project where pharmaceutical company has been inviting people around the country, not just students, people in general, to collect the plastic caps of bottles and to bring them, send them to them. And for every 2 kilos of plastic caps, they are going to give what? A free They are making certain medications for free for the children with certain with certain health problems. So this is quite interesting and good to know. So in a way, the students in our school have been collecting I don't know how many kilograms of plastic caps for the past 2 years, and we are glad that they have doing this initiative. Right, Haifa, you are correct. Not just in our school, but in the whole country. I just wanted to explain this reason why the plastic caps. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Branko.
Okay. At the end of projects, students and I did some research. We called it students' views and opinions about different within social programs. And after all activity, the result was wonderful. Students accept all students. There was no difference between students, and people with a disability start to talk with other students, start to play, I don't know, start to learn with other students, and so on. We decided to go on with this project. We do a lot of workshops with students. This year we make bigger tree or Christmas tree of chains. We go to the business trip to Kaufland DM and Erste Bank, and of course we work with children creativity. We encourage creativity in teaching or in class. A little bit later I will show you some photos what we do in our class. A lot of media write about us, about our projects, and the Forum for Freedom of Education give us a reward for promotion education. This was one meeting with the local community where we talk about projects and research and what students tell about students' experience and so on. This is encourage creativity in class. We have a subject banking in program economist, and we created one bank. We called it Frankopan Bank for All, where students learn how to have business in bank, how to talk with people, how to change money, how to I don't know, speak with people. Yes, and so on. This is a business company in our class. We have here small office. This is management. This is production, and here is administration. We work with other business company. This is, I think this is for Christmas. We make Christmas decoration or Christmas card to and send it to other business companies. Yes, this is management. This is here is marketing office. This is a business trip, DM, Kaufland, and this is traveling to Zagreb to visit Erste Bank. And here is some activity where we use toys to teach students about statistics. You can see here how they created graphicon. Yes, you have here boats, and they are making graphicons. You see, we use toys to learn statistics. At the end of project, we participate the final conference. We in Zagreb. We speak about our projects, and people from and partner from Slovenia, Italy, and United Kingdom listen, and they said that is very good. After 2 months, they came to Ogulin, and they visit our school, and they speak with our students and principals. At the end of project, all school who were included in this project make a book of good ideas, and all of our ideas are in this book. Not only Croatia. In this book are projects from Italy, Slovenia, and United Kingdom. And link for this book are here on presentation. Okay. Yes, the PDF.
I have been sharing the links of Bronco and Michaela's project, the one that they have been doing for the past 2 years, right? The link, I have shared it again. It is the book of the ideas, and it has about 90 pages, I think, and there is a lot of project activities, material lessons, ideas that you can definitely use in any classroom. You can use it at your when you have your students from probably primary school, secondary school. It doesn't necessarily need to be students from secondary school. There are many ideas, and of course the book is in PDF. You can download it for free. That's the whole point of these projects, right? When you have something that you have to make a material for dissemination later. Also, I have liked many of the ideas. I haven't used any so far, but definitely will use and try them out in my English class, because the activities that you can do are actually as a multi-subject. You can do like a CLIL, content language learning, with various subjects like English and statistics. For instance, Bronco mentioned statistics, and I must tell you that that's his favorite subject. Okay, thank you so much. Do you have any questions? So this is the last slide, right? Branko's last slide is in Croatian, which means grammar and Bernardin Frankopan, grammar and vocational school. That is the official name of our school in English. Gimnazija i strukovna škola Bernardina Frankopana. Škola koja uči means the school that learns. And of course, in Croatian, znanje je moć means the knowledge is power. I think we should all agree with that, right? And that is one of the mottos that is in the entrance of our school, and I'm sure that many of you will agree with that as well. Thank you so much. Are there any questions for Branko here? If there are some questions that he can answer now, we can try and have them. Or which changes, just a moment, there's a question by Emina. Which changes have you noticed?
The students start to work together, and they start to go to school together. They start to speak with people with disabilities and so on. At the beginning, we discover one problem, that the students from programs seller don't want to go to school by bus with students from gymnasium.
Sales assistants, right? Yes. When he says sellers, sales assistants, students who teach to become sales, to work in sales, right? They didn't want to share bus.
Yes, and we talked with them, and we do a workshop with them with these two classes, and after I don't know, 1 or 2 months, they together go with us to Podravka, to business trip
Yeah.
in the
Okay,
same bus.
another question by Emina. Emina, what she actually asked, I will just explain. She asked, have the parents noticed anything, right? Branko did mention that one parent was very excited about this project. And what about the parents? Have the students have the same approach within school as well as outside of school? Have they behaved well outside of the school?
Yes, kao druže se, start,
They socialize.
they
They socialize.
socialize together after school. They go to library together, and I don't know, so on.
They help each other. Well, for the past few years, our school has been an inclusive school, but there are still some. You always get new students, right? You get new students, and actually, this project was very popular among the new students, the students who have just enrolled into our school. And in a way, you have to teach them how to behave. We have many examples of students helping each other. The students who are in wheelchairs, they usually come and help the student to be brought to the second floor, for instance, and also they try to socialize with them in the corridors, and so it's still something in process, but the point is that they have been aware of the changes. They have been aware that not everybody is equal, not everybody is the same, but we should be solidary. There should be more solidarity and uniqueness, and united together and so on. It was nice. Rim has a question. What were the reactions of your students after finishing your project? Were there any reactions after the finish of the project?
Yes, students are very, very satisfied and they liked our project. And after when the project finished, we decided to go on. And when we asked students, would you like to join us our activities? They said yes, and they come to our workshops again.
There is also a question by
Uniforms.
Hussein. I hope I have pronounced your name. Is there a change? Were there any changes in society and people around you? Has this affected? Je li to utjecalo na ljude oko nas? Has this affected? Well, actually, yes. You have been talking in the media, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Can you share something more?
Yes, for example, our radio station talk about our project, and people on street tell us, nice work, bravo, go on. Your students have a lot of materials to work. They learned how to be a nice person to other person and so on.
Yeah, this kindness in a way has been problem recently, right? And I must say that things have been changing. Well, actually, we can say we live in a very good society, all you know, but there are always differences, right? And we don't want them. People are different, right? Nobody can be the same, but we should accept differences. And this is what this project has indeed helped in our school and with the students. Okay, if there aren't any questions, if I have skipped or missed something, we will go back if you want later. I will just mention that we don't have uniforms in our school.
Students they want.
But they want it, yes. But Branko mentioned that actually, even though through the survey, right? Can you explain, Branko, after the question you have asked them?
About the uniforms, we don't have uniforms, but all students of different programs, they tell us that they would like to wear uniforms to be like one, that all are the same.
Yeah, this is actually the topic that in, for instance, English lessons, we usually tend to discuss a lot. And students are usually divided. You can have half-half. But obviously the students that have been in the workshops after debating and going through for and against have been aware that maybe it should be better that we all wear uniforms. We don't have to think of what we should wear in school. And we are like the same. Nobody will tell me that I wear like a brand and I'm not from a rich family or like a family with less money. army. So in that way, they wanted this equality in a way, not to be different, at least in the dress code, right? But in our school and in mainly schools in Croatia, there aren't any uniforms. There have been some talk recently, maybe, but not anything official. Haifa, there is a question you have been you had written. Were there any difficulties you met with the students in your school? Jel bilo kakvih problema? Difficulties?
At the beginning, teachers and students don't give us support, but when we explain them what we do, what we will do, and after first workshop, when students gave us nice evaluation, there is no problem. When they heard what we do and how we do, that they start to go working with us.
Yeah, they start at first, you know, students, as I have written in chat, they're like skeptical. Oh, what's that? What kind of project is it? And again, and when they notice that they are actually learning something that is like you can use it in everyday life. You are familiar with certain values. You get some ideas. You do something. You learn more than you would learn from some other subject. Then they got interesting in it, and they actually, what I noticed, the students want to feel needed, right? And this is what the project actually had maybe shown and give to the students, and vice versa. Okay. Were there any problems that you faced? Well, Bronco has mentioned there weren't many problems. Only the students at first were a bit skeptical. They didn't want to join the project. But when they explained them what is the project about, even more and more students joined. Not so many in the beginning, but later there were so many of them, and the project was very, very successful. What is the role of the eTwinning in this? Is there any role in the eTwinning of this? Is this an eTwinning project?
No, it is not. It is Erasmus Plus project of in Croatia of Forum for Freedom of Education.
Dominique, but actually your idea of having something similar through eTwinning is possible, right? I think you can do a certain project. It could be on a cultural level, which many projects have been done through eTwinning, for instance, in the past year about cultural differences, right? So if you want, I think Bronco and I would be welcome. I think I'm going to create a forum in the inclusive education group for brainstorming. And if you are willing, let's start something similar through eTwinning, maybe for the next school year, because this year, unfortunately, we are finishing our school a year by the end of this week. So Haifa will join, Dominique as well. So, okay, ladies, definitely, I think both of us would be open for this kind of project. We can name it a bit different, but altogether it would be very nice to do. Excellent. Thank you for this suggestion. Okay, good. Shall we start with the presentation? Second, Bronco, thank you so much. Please bear with me. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be on my own since Liliana had this unexpected event happening to her. So, well done, Bronco, and okay. And here is me. Okay, so okay, so the idea, as you have noticed through this online seminar, was Bronco, Liliana, and a little bit help from me, was to try to show certain democratic values that we can do through various activities, through volunteering, to building democratic participation, including students in other society, right, more than they were supposed to. For the past 2 years, our school has been also a part of the European Parliament Ambassador School. Now, the European Parliament Ambassador School, I don't know if any of you have been familiar with it, but that was the project that actually has been started in Netherlands somewhere in 2015. And it became very popular among the students and teachers in Netherlands, that other European countries also wanted to join. This project has in a way started to become popular in other European countries. And you could easily join in your, let's say, country, like in Europe, in Croatia. We could join through the Croatian European Parliament. Now, the reason why we decided to join was in 2017. Was because we became a part of the European Union in 2013. We wanted to join this new community, and also European Union also has an important role in all of our lives. So European Parliament Ambassador School Program goals are to create a network of schools across Europe, raising awareness of European parliamentary democracy and European citizenship values. Dua Jemai, I'm going to explain. Yes, Nazmi, how to become one. Well, originally, as Ljiljana and I have discussed it, originally this project was intended to last from, I'm going to write in the chat, from 2016 to 2019, which would mean until this year. But recently I have read on the European Parliament Ireland liaison website that they are probably planning on extending this European Parliament Ambassador School Program, maybe in 2019-2020 year. So far I don't have any information about that, but you can maybe, I'm going to share a lot of links where you can learn more about this project, since Ljiljana is not here with us to maybe explain more. But I do hope that this project will continue, because there is definitely a lot to do. Nazmi wrote in the chat that is a 3-year-long project. Well, actually, once you join the European Parliament Ambassador School Program, it could be like 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. We have been the part of the program for the past 2 years. Some schools in Croatia have been the part of the program for the past 3 years. And there's more than 20 schools in Croatia that have been a part for the European Parliament Ambassador School Program. But of course, there are so many schools in other European countries. Like, for instance, I think in Ireland, there are like 60 or even more schools this year that had joined. So the point of this, the goal of this project was to help young people to better understand their rights, to give them as young adults unique opportunity to experience EU decisions and making to learn what European members and are responsible of, what are their duties in the European Parliament, also to share awareness among young people about the European values, and also to learn to express their own personal opinion. As you all know, this year in May, actually like a month ago, it was the elections, right? The European elections. And maybe one of the reasons of this Ambassador School Program was actually to try to attract young people to vote, right? To be a part, to be European citizens, right? And this is actually one or two websites that I think would be very helpful. If you are on Facebook, you can find this useful link about EU Ambassador Schools Program. Definitely, I'm going to share it in the chat. All in all the links will also be later shared. Just a moment. So I'm just pasting it here in the chat for you. As you can notice on this slide, it says 51%, and it says thank you, which means that more than 51% of people actually voted in the whole Europe, which is more than they expected, like when the voting was 5 years ago. Okay, then also to learn more about the European Parliament, or also how to include your students to maybe go to the European Parliament in Strasbourg or in Brussels, is to go to the website by Euroscola. Of course, mainly each country has a certain competition that they organize, and then your students can try to participate in the competition. Oh, sorry, I didn't paste it correctly. And one of the competitions, I will tell you more, that our students participated in 12-17 was to create a YouTube video that lasted about 1.5 minutes, where they wanted to present what is Europe for them. I'm going to show you the video a bit later. I'm going to just paste the link. And it's quite nice. Unfortunately, they didn't win, at least from Croatia. Some other school from Croatia went to Strasbourg, but the process of them creating the video together with Ljiljana Gračan and my colleague and our students, and many of them participated, is something that was a certain process, and they really enjoyed it and really learned a lot from it. I think this year in 2019, the students were supposed to create a certain logo also in their schools, maybe to participate in the European Parliament. So each year they organize a lot of new things, and I suggest you go to the website and learn more. So this is my colleague Ljiljana. She's actually an economy and a teacher of politics, and this is at the beginning how they started. We were just like brainstorming, talking about how we should approach this project, because during this project you get a certain book of activities through modules, and there is a lot of these modules that you can go through and just teach students and learn from these certain modules. I will show you later. This is the link of the YouTube video. We can watch it by the end of my presentation. You will see later. I'm just going to go through the slides first. So what do the modules that you can have your students learn more talk about? They are about short history of European Union, about the European values, decision making, Europe without borders, your voice in Europe, or Europe and me. There is a slight tip filler there. So for instance, in module 1, students would learn about the history, how did the name Europe come from, then the idea of the European Union, Robert Schuman, and all kinds of ideas that are about this history of the European Union. Then, for instance, in module 2, certain European values that we all share within Europe: social inclusion, justice, peace, democracy, dialogues. And there were so many activities that they can go through probably doing this module 2. Also, you have like decision making. This is more like them learning about the European institutions, like for instance, I shared a link of all the institutions and bodies of the European Union. Of course, they should learn more about the Council of Europe, what is their task, European Parliament, European Commission, and many other agencies there also. Since our students have been learning a lot about the European Parliament and European Commission, we have decided in a way to have and organize Skype talks, at least with Croatian members of the European Parliament. That was quite a task, because Ljiljana had been writing emails to our Croatian parliamentary members, and they have all gladly accepted to be interviewed, and they are all videotaped, recorded. Of course, unfortunately, they are in Croatian. You have this, there is a link on YouTube of one of the examples, but the point is that the parliament members are willingly share their values, their ideas, and what do actually they do within the European Parliament. For many students, this was something new, because even I sometimes don't know what kind of decisions they do there, and how do they do their everyday lives. And the questions the students asked them were like, what are your expectations for the EU Parliament elections that will be held in May 2019? Or have you been collaborating with other Croatian parliamentary members? Or what made you get interested in politics? Or what does politics mean to you? Or how do you manage your family and private life? And so on. There were just some of the questions the students asked and got answered by our members at that time at the European Parliament. In Module 4, for instance, students would talk about Europe without borders, as you all mentioned, like Bronco had just shared about Erasmus and all kinds of possibilities and mobilities and EU citizenship. And the great idea within this module is usually that we like to invite the students, our ex-students who now study at the universities, but have been also studied, not just in Croatia, but also went to study, for instance, in Czech Republic or in Italy, or for instance in Bulgaria, during their because Erasmus students enabled them that, so they have been let's say the citizens of Europe through their studies. And I must say, I'm very glad because of that. And more our ex-students always call us and tell us, thank you, teacher, because of you have been invited, your ex-students who have been on certain Erasmus mobilities for students. I have now able to go to Poland to study about communication, or one student was in Germany, the other was studying half of her semester in economy, and so on. So these are very important things, and they just need to be like pushed and just know that they can do that. So in other modules I've just mentioned, you have like Europe and Me. There is a great booklet. I'm going to share a link of it, where you have a certain activities in English, of course, because most of these booklets you can also download in your language as well. I will share the link a little bit. And you can learn about what is the European Union, how does the EU work, what is on the EU agenda, and so on. Let me just find the link, just bear with me for a moment. I found this link at the European Ireland classroom resources, and if you go to this link, you will see that you can download actually this book. I will show it later, Europe and Me, not just in English, but also in other European languages. Of course, during this program, School Ambassador Program, students would go on certain trips to share the ideas and the activities with other Croatian school European Parliament programs or ambassador programs. Our students went to Split with Ljiljana, and Ljiljana also, as a teacher, a senior teacher mentor, went to Brussels, I think twice, to participate in certain activities. During some of the activities in the beginning, when we started, Ljiljana was doing posters of 6 European founding countries, and the interesting thing is that the students have been really exploring a lot. For all of you who are from Italy, France, Germany, or Belgium, or Netherlands, you can maybe notice now on the next slide that I'm going to show you what students, how did they found Germany, for instance. You can see Angela Merkel, and she's carrying a Sacher cake, for instance, or for France, of course, the Eiffel Tower, something that would remind them. Like, it was more cultural also, but also what do we know from, what did we get from Germany? What did we get from France? What did we get from, for instance, Italy, of course, cappuccino and coffee or spaghetti or some other interesting stuff, or Belgium, of course, we have great chocolate, and students shared a lot of interesting things. Unfortunately, Ljiljana would explain it even better because she was supposed to talk about these posters more, but the interesting fact was that students really enjoyed, because first they had to explore more about these countries and then create the posters. While she was doing these collage posters, let's say, I was doing in my English class online posters using PosterMyWall for the also same 6 European founding countries. And of course, my students would even write more information, like some fun facts about these countries. In this case, for instance, why is Netherlands famous? It is well known for the windmills, tulip, and Dutch clocks, right? And also it's famous for Van Gogh, for instance. PosterMyWall is a very nice app. If you haven't used it so far, check it out. Your students don't even need to register to create a poster. So I'm just going to find the link of this app later and share with you in the chat. Also, here is the interesting facts about, for instance, Luxembourg, because we haven't learned, we didn't know much about Luxembourg. And what they have found out is that, for instance, another interesting thing is that euthanasia and assisted suicide are legal there. And students were a bit confused by these things, but we can ask them really if that is true. This is what they have gained these informations through Googling and trying to search for more info. For Italy, of course, we have monuments, we have these food that I mentioned, and also a culture, and of course, Italy not only be known for food and car companies, right? So these are just some examples. In the next years, we also are starting to create posters of other 23 countries, right, left, or 22, sorry. And but all of the activities have been piling up. We are doing bit by bit. It's very time consuming, but it's also nice because you really learn a lot together with the students. And a European Day, every year in a way, we organize European Day where students talk more about those students that have been participating more. How many are EU countries? Yeah, so we have created six, so we have to have 22 more posters, right? Okay. In the end, this year, in the beginning of this school year, we had a visit from the EU Parliament member, Mrs. Mariana Petir. She came to our school to congratulate us and to say that in 1 year we have did a lot of activities and we have earned this European Parliament status. So we got a board that we put in on school and we could continue doing other activities as well. She even gave the certificates to the students being the junior ambassadors, right? While the teacher or teacher mentors would get the senior certificate for mentoring the students through this year. And as I mentioned before, I have been sharing some of the links within chat, but here are some useful resources. Again, I suggest if you are on Twitter, you can follow a hashtag EPA Ambassador Schools. Also, as I already mentioned, this Facebook site, then Euroscola, then European Parliament Ireland, classroom resources through models. I suggest you go there and maybe download some of the materials because they are in English. And if you have noticed, the fourth resource that I have gathered for you is the so-called teacher corner, or they call it European Learner Corner. And this is what is interesting. This corner is also, you can translate it in all the European languages. So it doesn't necessarily need to be in English. If you notice on this screenshot, I have circled the English. So if you click on it, you can find it in Croatian, in German, in Belgium, and so on. And I've just circled some learning materials or work and study. You can find many interesting things. I will share that in the chat as well. And also, again, I think I put the link of the Europe and Me booklet. If I haven't, I'm just going to do it now. Just a moment. Been talking and doing 3 things at the same time. I apologize. So here is, for instance, the link for the booklet. The one Europe and Me, which is published and downloadable in EU languages. Also, my suggestion, if you want to learn more about the European institution, go to the link of the institution and bodies. And there is also the European Parliament TV channel and the latest news, which you can also find out many interesting things and maybe do them with your students in your lesson, whether that's an English lesson or politics or economics. Everything can find something for themselves and try to learn more, even though you are not at the moment maybe European school parliament school ambassador school. Okay, so thank you. As you can see, Croatia is a very small country, but we are part of the European Union. Thank you so much from both Liliana and me. One more time, she says hi. she says hi. She apologizes one more time, but that I hope that I have done a good job, and I have tried to gather as many resources for you. Don't worry, they are all going to be shared later on within the group. And if you have any questions, please do ask now. Okay. Oh, good, good. Yeah, I haven't been to the European Parliament at the moment, but Liliana has, because we couldn't travel, both of us. She was the main mentor, I was the assistant mentor, so usually they would only pay for one mentor to travel. But if we were to continue the project, if it's going to be continued, then I hope that maybe I could get to travel as well, even though I have been to Brussels before. Thank you, Nazbi. We hope you are going to visit us again. Okay. Any comments? Okay, so Branko, can you please come to the camera with me? Okay. Yeah, just share the camera. Okay, so Branko and Branko and I have been actually together in the same classroom. And just a moment. And I hope you have been enjoying our presentation and that we have given you some ideas, some materials useful in this democratic participation year, right? And I do hope, and I'm always pleased that we actually do get the brainstorming and ideas, and that we are going to start the eTwinning project at the beginning of the 2019-2020. I will definitely create a forum page, and I'm going to inform all of you through the newsletter that I usually send, so you can always and if you're a member of Inclusive Education group, let me just find the link also to share with you. You can join now if you wish. If you're not the member, you can always find it because it is the featured group, right? You can find it. It is the featured group. This is the link of the page, and I'm really looking forward to the project that we are going to do in 2019-2020.
Me too.
With many of you.
Yes.
Okay, here's the mic.
Yes.
Yeah, Nazmi. Oh, good. Thank you for reminding me. Let's find the YouTube video. Just a moment. Let me go back. I can actually try to post it in the. Just a moment. Let me have it recorded. Just a moment. Let me find it. This is your video, and this is no. There is not my video here. The video that our students. I would try to have it. In the recording, just a moment, and we'll share you the link. Okay. Oh no. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Just a moment. I'm just going to copy it for you. I'm going to start sharing my screen so that you can also see it. I will share it in the chat, the video that our students created for Euroscola. And I'm just going to try to share my screen so that you can see it here. Let me see. Yeah. Don't know if you can hear the sound. It's slow, right? Sam ja sam iskopčala se. Yeah, yeah, yes, Nazmi, that was the idea. It's quite nice. And the question was, yeah, if we are we have been the members of the school ambassador school program for the past 2 years, and that's why it is on the 4th of December 2017, because the whole point is that actually. When you become the member, you always do activities on and on. It's not like you can do all of the modules in 1 year. Believe me, that's time consuming. There's a lot of things to do. And my colleague Liana is very, very creative. They have brainstormed a lot, and they have created this quite nice video. Unfortunately, they didn't win, so they didn't go to Strasbourg. I think they were supposed to go to Strasbourg or Brussels. I'm not quite sure. But the point in creating the video and sharing it on Euroscola, it was also quite good. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Theodora, and thank you, everybody. It's been like 60 minutes. We have been sharing a lot of interesting things with you, and I do hope by that you have really gained some ideas and materials, and definitely you are going to join in the project that has been suggested. Thank you, Dominique. Also, before I just stop the recording, thank you, Bronco, for joining me. Thank you, Liliana, even though you are not with us. We have been doing the presentation together, but unfortunately I was the only one to present it for you. Liliana says that she is willing to join us maybe in autumn and maybe talk more about this project, and I hope I will be also able to invite some other colleagues from other schools and even other countries that have been the parts of the school ambassador. And maybe I do hope just follow all the news on the hashtags of the Twitter if you want to become the member of this program, and I hope they are going to continue it. The presentations for this webinar will be sent to you hopefully within a week, but maybe very soon, because the Central Support Service in Brussels sent these. If you have any problems, always let me know. I'm just going to give you my email. If you have any problems, if you might not get it or have been, or this is my private email, okay? And my Twitter link, you mean my Twitter? So you can follow me on Twitter, but if you want the hashtag Twitter, what was it? The hashtag Twitter, right? For the schools, just a moment. It was the hashtag, just a moment, hashtag ESP ambassadors. Let me just find it in the slides. It was the last slide. Yeah, I'm just going to go through the slides. Okay, regarding the slides, don't worry, they are going to be shared in the group. We have been having, what you are in an what am I in the eTwinning? Is that the question for me, Eman? I am the moderator of the eTwinning Inclusive Education Group, but actually I am just a simple English and Croatian language teacher, and I am working in Croatia, Ogulin, but part-time I'm working for eTwinning, running and moderating the group. What? Yeah, the group of inclusive education. Okay, so here is the hashtag on the slides, EP ambassador. Yeah, very good. Ambassador schools, and the hashtag of the eTwinning Inclusive Education Group is this one. So if you want to share something, always some kind of resources about inclusion, about learning disabilities, students struggling, dyslexia, whatever you think it's quite interesting, you can always include that hashtag. It would be great. Thank you. A link to the inclusive group. Okay, one more time, just a moment. Let me find it for the inclusive group. So the home page is this one. Just a moment. This is on eTwinning, so you have to be a member of eTwinning. Let me just show you how to share my screen just a little bit for those who have been new maybe to the eTwinning. So if you are on eTwinning, for instance, and you want to join any group on eTwinning, how you can find them? Just a moment. Okay, so for instance, this is the eTwinning live, and the links for the groups, you can go here, right? Just a moment, my internet is a little bit slow at the moment. And the group can be found as featured group. You can also go to the search. You can always go to the search, and the eTwinning groups, you have these, just a moment, groups. Okay, please. Yeah, okay, at the moment I'm already in the group, so I have to go to the eTwinning live. eTwinning live. And you go to the groups if you would like to find them. You see this small, so here, and on the left side you already have the feature groups, like some feature groups that sometimes appear. At the moment my group is not appearing here, but you can just find the groups by typing the name, some search name like inclusive education. And just go into the search, and here it is, like inclusive education group. As you can see, there are 5,377 members at the moment. If you become the member of the group, then you can easily find the group later in my groups, for instance, and this is what this is going to look like. Like in this case, the Center Support Service is the member of 6 groups, and this is how my group looks like if you go to the inclusive education group. When I say I'm just the moderator, is the group of everybody, and online at the moment there are like 7 people. Thank you for entering. Of course, you have a lot of pages here. A lot of materials people have been sharing, the members, and this is the forum where I'm going to create a topic under the name eTwinning Project for 2019-2020, brainstorming on the ideas that both Bronco, me, and Ljiljana shared. So I do hope you are going to join us soon. Now I have to stop the recording, and thank you all for coming. And this was 12th of June 2019, the 17th online seminar organized by the Inclusive Education Group. Thank you, Bronco, for joining me, and thank you everybody for coming as well. Bye, and see you soon.